Good afternoon. I'm Janelle Green, Janelgreen, and I'm the Executive Director of the Georgia Alliance for Social Justice. On January 20th, 2018, Georgia's women, diverse communities, and our allies will come together to celebrate the first anniversary of the Atlanta March for Social Justice and Women. That march was the single largest civil rights event in Georgia's history. We showed our might by bringing together nearly 65,000 Georgians to march for social justice. That march was only the beginning. On this historic anniversary, we will bring our community together to celebrate and launch our next initiative, Power to the Polls. The purpose of this event is to translate the momentum of the march and activism of 2017 to sustained actions that will lead to a more just and equitable Georgia. Through this kickoff event and actions throughout 2018, we will inspire more women and diverse community members to run for office. With our nonprofit partners, we will educate and inform the community about issues so that Georgians will be more engaged in advocacy and the legislative process. And we will work with our partners to register more voters and to mobilize voters to turn out in record numbers at the polls in 2018 midterm elections. Our purpose and our mission goes beyond fighting the president, and it goes beyond marching in the streets. We will work at all levels of government to fight white supremacy, sexism, homophobia, Islamophobia, and all of the other injustices currently being perpetuated through our governmental systems. We will continue to fight for equal representation of women and diverse communities, which is why we have chosen the venue, the bakery. The bakery is owned by a woman and is located in an under-resourced community, a community where the disparities of wealth and inequality and opportunity must be addressed. When we hear calls to make America great again, we respond and say we must make America great for all, an America that is inclusive, just, and equitable. I'd like to now turn it over to Gerald Griggs, our co-founder, for more exciting information about the event Power to the Polls. Gerald?
It seems like just yesterday we were settling in and preparing for a march that brought 63,000 Atlantans into the streets. And now we prepare for the culmination of that march. It's not more a march, it's a movement. And that's what Power to the Polls is. We have a phenomenal group of speakers that will highlight the victories over last year and where we see ourselves going in the future. We have confirmed gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams. We have Erica Clemens confirmed, Stephanie Coombs, who is the first transgendered woman to be elected in Georgia. We have Mary Pat Hector, 19-year-old, also successfully won election in Georgia. We also have Lucy McBath. We are proud to have these individuals to come and speak to Georgians about how we can change the conversation politically, how we can motivate the next Georgia, the new Georgia, that we will see in November of 2018 as we march to the polls. So Power to the Polls will be a rally. It will be an effective political gathering tool, but more importantly, it will bring together progressive Georgians from all around the state to send a message to the Gold Dome. And that message is clear. We are one Georgia, unified and focused on moving Georgia forward in a progressive manner. So we will have, without further ado, we will have Jasmine Clark, who's been a great organizer. She was the organizer of the Science March, who will come and tell us what we will have as far as entertainment at this event. But we look forward to seeing you at Power to the Polls as we mobilize for a new Georgia.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Clark, JasmineClark, and I am a part of the event planning committee and specifically in charge of the entertainment. So after we rally, we're also going to party. We're going to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the Atlanta Women's March, and although we still have a lot to do, we have a lot to celebrate. So we're going to party, and we'll have a DJ Said, who is an awesome DJ who will surprise us with some great remixes. We'll have some live entertainment, including David Salel, Chase and Lovely, and we'll even have the prolific slam poet and high school student Royce Mann, who went viral on YouTube with his poem White Boy Privilege. So we look forward to seeing you at Power to the Polls. Come out and just have a good time. Like I said, we have a lot to do, but let's also have a good time as well. And with that, I will introduce Susan and Fallon.
I am Susan Cooper, SUSANCOOPER.
And I'm Fallon McClure, FALLON MCCLURE.
And we are the coordinators of the Social Justice City component of our event. And Social Justice City is going to be promoting and celebrating a bunch of different nonprofit and grassroots organizations in our area. There's going to be large nonprofits that you're familiar with, such as Planned Parenthood, ACLU, NAACP, and then some smaller grassroots organizations that are just now up and coming, like Fair Districts Georgia, Moms of Black Boys, and we're really hoping to showcase them at the event.
And we're really excited to have you all come out. It's going to be, they'll all have tables and information. You'll be able to ask one-on-one questions and find ways to get involved with the organizations that are closest to your heart. There's so many different organizations that are going to be there, close to 40, so there's somewhere for you to fit in, there's somewhere where you can be involved. So please come out and learn more, volunteer, sign up, and get involved. And just remember, this is a culmination of the march, but now it's time to be active and move and power to the polls.
And next up is Kenyette.
Hello, my name is Kenyette Barnes, KENYETTEBARNES. I serve as the Legislative and Policy Director with the Georgia Alliance for Social Justice, and my role with the Power to the Polls is really going to be elevating the need for us to be proactive when we're talking about legislature at the state capitol. A lot of the legislature that's coming through, especially as it relates to voting rights, civil rights, women and girls, is something that we're going to be really talking a lot about. We're going to have a lot of our state legislators there so that they can engage us when we talk about these different topics. In addition, my role is going to be really elevating the movement of Me Too. Tarana Burks did a wonderful job at putting on the national stage the need to really talk about sexual violence among women and girls. And we're going to have our Me Too cafe, where we're going to allow people to tell their stories, to be heard for sometimes the first time in their lives. And we're going to invite people to talk a little bit about what does it mean to be a survivor of sexual violence, sexual harassment, and what does it mean to be a part of a movement that is looking to eradicate that. So that's pretty much going to be my role with Social Justice City and Power to the Polls. And at this point, I'm going to turn over to my colleague, Janelle Green. Thank you.
So I'd like to invite the entire team to come up with me so that you can meet our entire planning committee that was able to be here today. We understand that marching is important. We understand that through the march last year that we were able to send a very strong message and share our might with the world, and to show Georgia and show America the strength of the South, the strength of Georgia, and that there are tens of thousands of progressives in the state of Georgia ready to do work to make this a more just and inclusive society. So that is why we are not marching. We are having this event to engage people in meaningful work that will translate into success in 2018. We are thrilled about this event. We are thrilled about the announcements, and we will have more to come. But today we also wanted to share with you the exciting news that the co-president and co-founder of Women's March National, Ms. Tamika Mallory, who is also the leader of the National Action Network, will be joining the Georgia Alliance for Social Justice at our event. She will be a featured speaker, and we are thrilled to be a part of the Women's March movement and having such prominent and progressive leaders from our country joining us on this historic day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
Well, the turnout last year was humongous. It was raining out there, right?
It was pouring rain.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? I mean, were you shocked by that? Or?
We were shocked by that. I know Gerald and I were inside the Center for Civil and Human Rights, and we could only see out a little window, and we could see the pouring rain, and we could see people starting to gather. And I remember talking with Gerald and saying, wow, there's a couple hundred people outside, and then wow, there's a couple thousand people. And given the extreme weather, we were thrilled.
Yes.
You know, we thought that was incredible. And it wasn't until we came outside to start the event that we saw that sea of people. I was so emotional. I broke down in tears. I could not believe what we saw. So it was a huge shock and surprise. It was amazing.
What did that say to you?
It showed the strength of Georgia and the resolve to move forward in a positive manner. It showed Georgia was not going to go into some sort of shell or hide. They were going to voice their opposition. They were going to voice their hope and their vision. And we hope that this year we will give them a clear vision of how we take control of our community, and that's through our electoral process. So it was not only a message to the community, it was a message to the politicians that Georgia reflects all of Georgia and not just one section that wants to take it back to a far gone era.
And I think it's really relevant right now because we have, you know, one of the largest corporations in America, Amazon, is looking to do business in Georgia. And doing business in Georgia looks risky to an organization like Amazon that has progressive values. And so we want Amazon to know that there are tens of thousands of us here in Georgia that are working towards that progressive messaging and being an inclusive society so that companies like Amazon will come to Georgia, because being progressive, being a safe and inclusive community is good for Georgia, it's good for business, and we want to really demonstrate that we're all here.
Yes, ready to work.
Just real quick, 2018, you got a lot of stuff going on. Just talk about how excited you guys are.
Oh my God.
We are so excited.
We are seriously pumped. I mean, we're excited that Tamika Mallory will be here. We're excited that there will be other announcements of large national figures who will be here. And we're excited that we are moving past a march into a movement. This is a movement. I was at Salute to Greatness, and I heard from Cory Booker, who hopefully will come, that it's time for this generation to take hold of the mantle that the previous generation had and to push it forward. And we represent what Georgia looks like. We want you to be a part of what Georgia looks like, and we want to stand in the footsteps of Dr. King on Dr. King's holiday and say, next weekend, come join us for Power to the Polls.
And we've had decades of seats going unopposed. We've had people running for Congress, people running for state office, in seats that have gone unopposed for decades. And that has really created no change, no forward momentum throughout Georgia. And this movement has inspired people, and we will continue to inspire people to run for office, flip those seats, and get new people, new ideas, progressive values into powerful places, so that we will see a really positive change in Georgia. So we think that our event is really a big kickoff to that happening.
Yes.
All right, if you would just all stay right there for just a minute.
Yep.
Got a little bit of video.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.